Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great episode of Over the Weekend. We are last shotting. We're doing 5 episodes in a row, and we're doing the first one here, and all of them are going to be focused around lo-fi house music and lo-fi house artists, because that's just exactly what I love, and I have a reason to bring it to everybody else's eyes. I've gone to many shows. I've actually gone to a few shows in November in the city. I've gone to also a few shows last month. And I'm currently waiting for the next big show to come out. So I want to be able to have the time inside of Canada to actually, talk to other people around the world. And I've brought up one great human being, another Tim actually, as well, onto the show. This gentleman here, I hope I gotta say this right. I've been trying to practice the name for about 3 days now. It's Klienfrigo.
Yes, almost.
See?
Klienefrigo. Like how you said it works perfectly, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
We can go for that from there.
Okay, thank you very much. Well then, Mr. Good Sir, we have the Lord in our work here. Klienfrigo is a dynamic lo-fi house artist, actually from Leuven, Belgium. So Leuven, yes. Belgium, Leuven, Germany. Not too far from Brussels, so that means that you guys do listen to a lot of electronic music. And yes. You guys just happen to be so close that it probably bleeded off to you and to your guys' city. This month, actually, you dropped a new album, Wallaroo Deluxe. Wallaroo Deluxe has all the greatness that we want, which actually has the hip-hop influence. Realistically, all your music has that hip-hop influence. You can definitely hear it when you play it over and over again. But the lively music that you bring to everybody and just the strips that you have in the underground music scene make you the person I want to speak to, because it's a great starting to just how we can figure out how you guys make what you make. Besides producing, you also contribute to an event concept called GMAC, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, it's like a typical Belgian word in like a dialect. It's like you say it, gemak.
Oh, GMAC.
But it's a bit of a difficult word to pronounce in different languages. But it basically translates into being at ease.
Okay, like chill, relax. See, as a Jamaican myself, that's one of the best things I know how to do. Pull out a joint, hang out, just relax. Literally, our saying is no problem. So
yeah, all right, nice.
So let's just get off to it. Firstly, I brought down your description. I gave you a little bit of a bio, but firstly, let's ask, what did you do over the weekend and who you are? Anything that I've missed, essentially?
I think you were already quite spot on. So I'm Klienefrigo. I am a Belgian producer and DJ who started producing seriously back in like the COVID era. That was when I really had my first trigger to start taking electronic producing more seriously. Before that, I made some hip hop beats, which like heavily resonates in like how I work with my samples, how I flip them, how I use them. And I think all around my song structure is like pretty influenced by hip hop as well. Who am I as a person? I'm pretty outgoing, I would say. I love being energetic and being around energetic people. Just like, for example, this Friday I went to Seduce in Brussels, which is like a club in like central of Brussels, and I went with one of my best friends actually, who's also a DJ, and really, he sparks my interest daily to keep on producing, DJing. I'm currently teaching him how to produce as well, so
he
got that spark as well, and we had a blast. So it was amazing. We had a really good time.
So how does it feel then teaching somebody else? Because in the art field, they do say that every form of education is education, and one of the best ways is to teach somebody else, because it just reinforces what you already know. So what do you like? What is your first feeling when it came to picking up while teaching another person how to the craft of being a producer and an artist?
I would say that some things really seem like self-explanatory, but they are not. So, like for example, I understand certain mechanics in the DAWs that I use, like Fruity Loops. But then when you have to explain them to someone else, you really start thinking it over, like, how do I explain this? And you have to really start dissecting the little pieces, because sometimes it's just easy to comprehend something and go with it without like thinking it through.
Yeah.
So like, oh, I have to do this, and you just do it. But then you start to think, why do I need to do it? And that's a really interesting concept for me, because actually it gives no depth to how you produce yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like a breakdown of your entire process. So you can start like try to optimize it yourself. So like it's a complete breakdown, and then you're going to build it up with someone new. So it's like really nice to do, actually. I really enjoy spending time doing it.
You get the opportunity basically to say, you know what, this sounds like this could actually be tweaked a tiny bit, and you can actually go as deep as you can to change that portion, because now you're breaking it down list by list by list, quadrant by quadrant.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, see, that would be actually pretty cool that to get that in your mind, you know, because that probably would expand also this ability of creating music.
Exactly. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
So when it comes to it, what is the hero's journey in your life? Because obviously you started off somewhere. You said you started off in the COVID era, so take us back to that portion and bring us back to 2024, 2025.
So I always had like attraction to music ever since I was really young. When I was 7 or 8 years old, I started breakdancing just in my city. And I loved every beat. I thought it was so hard to listen to. It was so nice, and it gave me a lot of energy. And then just all of a sudden, I was at a party of my uncle. He just turned 30, I think, and I heard "Still Dre" by Dr. Dre.
Yeah,
which is like one of my all-time favorite numbers since that day, and it really kept something going in me, collecting music, digging music, and like every chance I get, I listen to music and I try to break it down. And then one of my best friends actually introduced me to Fruity Loops because he started making hip hop beats. And I thought it was interesting, but like after a while, I had sort of a bore out because I was always doing the same with a different beat and a different melody. So I was like, okay, I need to break it down once again. And in Leuven, my city, actually, the electronic music was really coming up in the years prior to the COVID era. And then actually, when COVID hit, I met up with one of the people in my city I knew who also made music, and we went to skate together. And he actually said, like, come, let's go. I'm going to teach you how to DJ. Let's dig into some music. And then we actually started DJing and producing. I taught him some basics on producing. He taught me some basics on DJing. And actually, yeah, it always comes back to like the breaking down of something that I really enjoy. Like, how is this made? How can I recreate my own version and interpret this in my own way? And then when it comes to music in general, I'm just addicted to collecting new stuff. And I could listen to like that tune for like 20 times a day just because I love it so much. And then the next day I keep on digging and I find something new, and I just love going down these little rabbit holes. But yeah, my interests are going like this because everything triggers me. And, it's such a nice thing to keep me occupied, actually.
Yeah, once you get an inspiration, you're like, okay, I need to focus on this for a little bit. And then one day you'll probably listen to somebody else and you're like, okay, now I have to actually do this. Come on, like, yes, I have to do it now. Yeah, I'm with artists all the time. Literally one of my housemates himself is producing, and all he does all day is produces at home. We'll get in the car and we'll go to work, and he'll bring his laptop and he'll produce in the car. And then we're about to get out, 3 minutes before, he'll close his laptop and he'll be like, all right, it's time to work, let's go. So I understand when it comes to like, you're immersed almost at all times in everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically. And that does help out once again a lot, because if you're immersed in it almost all the time, just like with learning a language, you just will get better at it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a subconscious way of constantly analyzing everything you hear. And sometimes there's just this little
Yeah.
moment. I need to do this to reach this, and I just hope I'm at my computer as soon as I can to try and replicate what I just
basically came up with. It goes so crazy that I have one friend. He doesn't do it a lot, but when we've gone to a few music festivals, like there's a music festival in Canada called Shambhala, and we go every year. But last year I caught him producing as well as DJing off of his iPad. He just brought the iPad. I was like, this is crazy. I cannot believe that the world has gone so far that you can literally DJ almost everywhere.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
However,
crazy.
I wanted to know, because us being in North America, there's a lot of words that we don't understand, and we've already gotten the actual answer for G-Mac.
Yes.
But now, what about your name? As I know, I did the looking, and tried to find out what the name meant, and I know clean or Klein is the word for small.
Yes.
But what's the second word? I could not figure out at all. So, what is the meaning behind the makeup?
It's actually a really stupid story, but like I was chilling with some friends. We had a school weekend, and we went to a brewery. So we went. It was like we were visiting an abbey with like a brewery as well. And we went to the gift shop and we bought some beers. And then that night there was a party. And it was in the era that me and a friend of mine were producing beats. So we were like, okay, we have to rap over them. Yeah, it's funny. And I was in like this rap battle against another friend of mine, and he already had a name, but I didn't. And I was looking around and was like, damn, I don't know what to call myself. And actually, Klienefrigo is a translation for small fridge refrigerator.
I knew it. When I looked, I was like, okay, because I know Spanish is also the same word, so I was like, it must be that. But I was like, just in case if I'm wrong, because you obviously know what the actual word for fridge in German is, and it's not Frigo. That's why I was like, I don't know. Like, again, I don't want to butcher it, but I have the word here. There's a special character as well. Klugerschrack.
Yeah, my German isn't that good as well. Koelkast, something like that. But like in Dutch, it's koelkast.
Koelkast.
Yeah, it's a bit more simple. But yeah, there was like one object around me, and I was like, okay, my name is Klienefrigo. And it kind of stuck somehow. We don't really know how.
Rolled off the tongue.
Yeah, exactly. And then we recorded some shitty rap tapes. And then when once it was COVID and I wanted to make my first release public, I was like, damn, what do I call myself? And that friend was like, just call yourself Klienefrigo. You can always change it. But yeah, we're 6 years later and now it's...
yeah, you're like, no.
But yeah, I'm with it.
And you might as well, because that name, a lot of lo-fi artist names, they're all over the place anyways. So that name, in all honesty, it fits.
Thank you. That's nice to hear.
Yeah, see, out here, a lot of the artists in Canada just have their regular, boring first name, last name, or just first name. Yeah. I have one of my buddies literally just does, once again, his first name, but then he just does his last name letter. However, just like you, it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah,
so you're allowed to happen.
Exactly. If it rolls off your tongue and the people seem to like it, and you like it yourself, which is the most important, then you're good to go.
Yeah, see? Well, to continue, you do say that you use Fruity Loops. You learned the actual skill from another friend. And on top of that, too, you have your own collective that you actually work with. And recently, in December, you did a sessions taping with them as well. So it's really cool that you have the whole encompassing business with you. You even wear their outfit, they wear their logo almost at every event, too. So it's like, you really have a lot of love with that company. So give us a little bit more of a breakdown of G-Mac in general.
So... the collective originated almost 2 years ago. In 2 months is going to be our 2-year anniversary, and the general idea was that we wanted to host an event in like the club in Leuven, which is at Stelplaats, and they did an open call. So me and a couple of friends were quite interested, but it had a big workload. We had to make an entire concept, a name, visual identity, a safer space policy. So I was really triggered by this. I really wanted to do this. I wanted to mark my stamp on the city's culture. So we rearranged our group a bit, and the focus is really to create an immersive club experience by merging the music with the scenography. So we're a group of 8, and we have 2 super talented girls who are in charge of scenography. We just have a new member, a guy as well, who joined the scenography team. So we have 3 people who are always like busy with defining new ideas to I'm looking for the word in English, to like fill in the space of where the parties are taking place.
Fill the gaps, yeah.
Exactly. So to really create a connection between the audience, to make it more an interactive and immersive experience on top of just regular clubbing. That's like our main aim. And from there, we branched out into the sessions tapings, which is like our jumping platform for unrecognized upcoming new talent. So we have like a submission folder. Someone can send in their mix. We'll check it. And then once we have our new lineups, we're going to always give one spot to someone who sent in a mix. So we curate our lineups based on their submission, which is really fun. Our sessions events are only people who submitted a mix. But like our general events, our normal events, we always have one spot for some submissions. And right now, next month, we have an event with like 600 people who can come. It's already sold out.
Wow.
We are hosting In Effect from Liverpool. And the submission spot is like actually the spot right before him. So it's going to be like the main act supporter, which is like quite a big deal. But we're happy to give our platform to like upcoming talent, because it's really important to cultivate talent in your own city.
Yeah, absolutely. I did see that as well. It did say local talent, close talent, please apply within. So is there like a lineup? Is there a queue? And on top of the queue as well, do you also accept other people when they bring their own sets as well? Let's just say somebody from Canada decided to post. What if you said, okay, it's great and I like the music, we're going to allow you to come in? Is that a process that happens as well, or is it more you're trying to keep it tight knit?
Our main goal is to like promote the local talent. Yeah. So that's really a queue. Once you send in your mixtape, you're in like a sort of shortlist, and then we create our main lineup. We check for a headliner. Someone is going to be just after the headliner, and then we're going to try and fill in the gap as tight as possible. So we want a coherent lineup, but also like a lot of diversity in music, gender, ethnicity, all that stuff really matters to us, to like give a full representation of our city, who we are, and what we like to represent.
Yeah.
In case a Canadian producer / DJ sends in a set and we really like it and we have the budget, it could happen that we fly him over and have him or her or they do their thing on our platform. But it's like we need to have a bigger budget for like arranging flights, hotel, transports, grounds. So like for some bigger events, I think it could work. But like our main aim at the moment, since we're really like still starting up, is more like the local talent. But if you want to, people can always shoot their shot, and who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's literally what DJ Poolboy Adam actually told me as well, because I met him in November, and he said the same thing. He's like, the only way I got to where I am is I applied everywhere. He's like, I applied, and I tried to send my music out to everybody, and eventually it just like a rocket. It went up. In all honesty, actually, that day I met him. I've also met Justin, DJ Houseplants. I met DJ Quarter Latin. He's also not too far from me. He's about 6 hours. His hometown is 6 hours away.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah. And last but not least, 2 weeks later after that, I actually ended up meeting Joe as well. So DJ Planet Express. I said I'm shoehorning myself into this niche, I am shooting it in with my foot right in front of the door, and I'm kicking the door.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not reading.
They're really respectable names as well, so I'm really glad you spoke them as well.
Yeah, see? You already know. I already told them everything. I was like, dude, at any point in time, we're gonna talk, because, I don't mind going to New York if I have to. I don't mind going to Montreal if I have to. I just need to make sure that they're standing put in one place for 24 hours. But
Yes.
It's so crazy. I actually seen that they also remixed. At least DJ Cinema has remixed one of your songs. But how was that concept for that work? Like, did they email you and say, "Hey man, I really like this song. Can I make a remix out of it?" Or did somebody else contact you? Did they have a dove that shows up at your house, at your window with a message?
No, the thing is, actually, when I just started out producing, I joined a Facebook group called Lo-Fi House Group, plain and simple. And I just started posting my stuff in there, reacting to some other people, engaging with their stuff. Really discover new upcoming artists. And when DJ CQL actually popped up, it was like one of his first songs. It's like a phone number.
514.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I really, really liked it, so I just gave him a follow on his socials, and then he followed me back, and I released Addicted together with Blue Every Day. And then I was like, I really want some remixes for this. I'm just going to send him a message like, yo, do you like this song? Do you want to potentially remix it? I can send you all the stems, and if you want, we can work from there. And he was actually really kind, and he was like, yeah, I love this song. I'm going to remix it right away. Send me the stems. And like 1 day, 2 days later, he just released this remix for me and sent it to me. We planned in the release together with Orbital Drum System.
Yeah.
From Cologne, Germany. And yeah, it was like one of my first international collaborations. And to this day, I still think that DJ CQL is one of the most talented out there. He's crazy. He's always refreshing his sound, but like keeping it all similar. He has a really unique twist to his productions, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Right on. It just in my opinion, it's such a good good genre of music that allows you to talk to people. You can talk to people, and it's very social. And on top of it, too, you can enjoy the music to the point where some people just lay back and close their eyes, and they just experience the music at the same time. Knowing that these artists are all, it's all really close and tightly knit, similar to an actual community, it makes it really nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just really agree with it being naturally. It just kind of happened. For example, one day I was just scrolling on my phone and I saw DJ Planet Express start following you. And I was like,
no way.
What the fuck? I screenshot it, sent it to my friends like, oh, do you know this guy? He just started following me crazy. And it's just like, I sent him a message like, yo, I really love your stuff. And like right away I got a response. Super friendly, always listens to the stuff I send him as well. So yeah, it's really nice to have those kind of people in the scene who are so just naturally friendly. It's a really friendly environment, actually.
Yeah,
that's what I love about lo-fi.
they add in for them too specifically. You add in the fact that they're also Canadian too, so it's just naturally they're just naturally just happy people. Naturally, people just want to talk to you at all times. So,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, I feel it when it comes to it. I do have two favorite songs that I like myself. Like these are the ones that go play like over and over and over again, and I just want to kind of get your thought process, I guess, from the inception of the song to the actual release. First one, Friday, banger
Alright.
track. Second
Thank
track, Paris Hilton is my stylist, banger track. I want to
Thank
see,
you.
like, give me a little bit of information on those songs. Like, did you, were you on the bus one day and then you're like, dude, I gotta, you seen an ad of Paris Hilton or something, and you're like, I need to do something about this.
For like the Paris Hilton track, it was like so random. I was studying or I was making music, I'm not really sure exactly, and I just put on my TV for some visuals and I typed in lo-fi house mix and I stumbled upon a dub techno mix. So like I started listening to it, it was like all these laid back reverby delayed synths, and I was like, wow, this is actually insane. The production level of this type of music is going so far, but it still also has like that lo-fi crunchy dusty touch to it. I was like, okay, I'm going to take this in, I'm going to try and make something. One day I was scrolling through some like piano chord samples and I was like, yo, this sounds good.
Yeah, this is it.
And I went really all out trying to get that dubby sound but still keeping it lo-fi. And then I was looking for like some vocals, samples, and I remember I had a really funny picture of Paris Hilton holding a cell phone. I was like, this song has a bit of the diva vibe that Paris Hilton brings. I'm going to look up some Paris Hilton vocal samples. I was like, yo, she's giving fashion advice. This is like...
Yeah, this is it.
It is without the box. It's like it matches the diva level that I was looking for in the vocal. So I started chopping it up and I was like, okay, this works. And yeah, that's how it all came together. I think it took me like a week to finish the track in its entirety, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. And it also had a premiere on Moscalus, I think, which was like my first premiere on that promo channel. It's a channel I really respect as well, so it was like one of my first full circle moments, actually.
Yeah, the first time you knew that people are actually recognizing you for the artist that you are and recognizing the music that you make, especially in the seven days. That's pretty impressive to get it done in 7 days.
Yeah,
usually people take longer.
Yeah, some tracks take months and months and months, but like Friday, the baseline for Friday, like the big concept of Friday was done in like 2 or 3 days, and then I just had it laying around for like a year. And I was like, damn, I need to finish this track, but I just couldn't get around it. And I just was like, okay, fuck it, full focus. Opened up my laptop, opened the project, and just really started from scratch again, typing in everything, laying everything down, and it's really one of my favorite productions, actually, Friday. It was also at the time that I got to know 55 Music, which is the label I've put the release on.
All right.
And I was like, okay, this is actually a good song for them. I sent it to them. They're like, nice, can we do an EP? And then I made the other tracks basically around Friday. And yeah, the vocal sample is actually from the movie Friday. So hence
that hip hop influence again.
Exactly.
It's pretty crazy that it all came to be, essentially. And how long did that song take? Well, I guess you said over a year, but you spent a month on making it, then you took a break, essentially.
Yeah.
So the second part, how long did it take?
The second part was a bit longer because I was really trying to get that perfect lo-fi crunch in all the toms and the basses, and like I really wanted to stick together and not crunch too much, because then it gets too harsh and you kind of lose that lush touch. So that really took a long while. The mixing process was like rinse and repeat, trial and error over and over. But I think overall that track took like an extra month to really get it right, to really get my personal touch on the mix.
Yeah. But then once it came, just like everything, that little zing came out of nowhere, and you're like,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is it. So now I have just another question that must be answered, and this is a little more of a production question. Essentially, there is like techniques and skills and ways that we were talking about throughout this conversation already, but is there any tools or techniques or skills that you like rely on, that you use all the time, not just to get like the lo-fi signature sound that you have, but just in general to make your process faster?
I think really when I was like producing the lo-fi house stuff more, because now I'm like slowly shifting into like a bit of a different sound, but like in my peak lo-fi era, I was really experimenting with new ways to go about sampling. So I would drag in a sample, and then instead of just cropping it to time and making a beat out of it, some signature things I always did was like I took the same sample and then I reversed it, and then I chopped it back up so that each part has its like own reverse. So if it like goes like this, then it goes back up, like it always the same sound echoing over and over in like the regular like how it's played normal, and then it's followed by reverse, or like the other way around, first reverse and then the original sound. And once I really had that down, it was like a basic process. When I found a melody, I would just go ahead and do that. It wasn't like always, because it doesn't fit every time. It's just not like a one-fix-all solution. But that was something I really always did, and was like quite fast with it. But like some other things I use on basically every track are plugins like Grossbeat. And I really took that with me from like the hip-hop production era. Like gives certain stutters and gates, and really it creates new patterns around your melody that already exists. So what I would usually do is like copy the original melody, pitch it up or pitch it down, and then I would go and start experimenting with like plugins like Grossbeat or like other stutter plugins to really create like a new rhythm surrounding the bass, the bass line of the melody. And that's just stuff that are first to mind when I'm making melodies. So yeah, I hope that answered your question a bit.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Okay, perfect.
When it comes to it, then you implementing these techniques using on Fruity Loops. Do you mainly do Fruity Loops? And on top of that question, what decks do you use specifically? Do you shake it up? Do you use whatever the venue has?
For like production, I've used Ableton since I was 16, so that's around 7-8 years now. But I've just bought Ableton, and I want to get into like this new learning curve, studying Ableton and seeing what I can do with it. So this is like really going back and forth. If I don't have much time, or I want just some quality producing that feels like my home, then I go for Fruity Loops. But if I'm like, okay, now let's grind, I'm going to try something new, then I open up Ableton. And as far as decks go, when I'm at home, I have a Pioneer DDJ 400. It's like this one, like almost 90% of DJs at home have these. Yeah, it's a bit blurry now with the camera settings, but like it's the typical plug in your computer deck from Pioneer. It's like an old edition. I think now it's called the Flex 400 instead of the DDJ 400. But I always use that panel when I made mixes, except my first mix that I put out on YouTube. That was my first Beers and Beats mixtape. I recorded that with like a DDJ 200, which is like one version smaller, but like I had no headphones, so it was all like trying to know the
Yeah,
music.
knowing it by heart.
Yeah, it's like all the tunes I really loved at the time, so I just completely knew the structure, and it went quite naturally. And it's one of the mixes I'm actually super proud of. So,
Oh,
yeah. And then when it
it's
comes to venues, yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say it's a very interesting way to produce as well as play, because I've been around a lot of artists, but I only know one artist that can say the exact same thing. That's like, I know my songs. I don't even need headphones sometimes. And I'm like,
Okay.
wow, that's crazy, because you just look at the wavelength and you just know exactly what's going on in the song. But normal people like me will look at a wavelength and it looks like braille. It looks like it looks like I need to touch it in order to understand.
Yeah, I try to really study the music that I want to play, but like it always happens that I don't have enough time and I really need to listen to the music. So now I always mix with headphones. But like most of the tunes I play, I know what's coming and I know when to mix in. I know what are like the phrases of the song to like match it in, but it's not a perfect not perfect always. So yeah.
Well,
But it's nice to have the capacity to like know your music. It really helps me a lot
oh, yeah.
when mixing as well.
So I guess then you don't have to bring your own setup and everything. You just go to the place you're going to and everything's already ready to go.
Yeah, basically the venues I play at, they always have like the industry standard here in Belgium, which is like the Pioneer CDJ 2000 Nexus, or like now the newer version, the CDJ 3000, which is like all bars, all venues, all organizations use that one. And I always check beforehand if they have like this piece or like something from Pioneer, because to be completely honest, if I would have to play an Allen and Heath mixer, I'd really have to check a tutorial beforehand or like get to know everything, do like a sound check, get familiar with it.
Yeah.
Like Pioneer is basically always good to go. It's like my main my main decks are like always, it's always a Pioneer setup.
Yeah, it's always set up and ready to go. It's easier that way anyways, in my opinion. But
Yeah, exactly.
why reinvent a wheel if you don't really need to, you know? Especially artists like you could just be like, guys, order it. I'll be there next week. Order it. There's one question I ask everybody, and this one big one is the 3 misconceptions in the music industry. So like a lot of people that are outside of the music industry think everything but what's true when it comes to the electronic music industry. So what do you have in mind? The 3 things that come to your mind, like, off the top of your head, could be related to the music, it could be related to the people, it could be related to just the economics, things like that, essentially.
The first thing that comes to mind is like not everything with a 4 to the floor beat is house. Like like everyone's saying like, oh, I listen to house a lot, and then I just get this ick when it's not house at all. Like it could be something else entirely. But I think that's the beauty of electronic music. All styles and genres within electronic share similarities, but like they really create their own style within it. Like take just regular house and garage, they could share the same beat pattern with like slight variations, and it's something entirely new. And I don't want to sound educated or something, or like in a bad way when I say it, that I get an ick out of it, but I'm like, I really dig into the genres and like what they're built on and the culture surrounding it, and I really try my best to understand the genres and styles. And then I'm like always like a bit frustrated when someone says, oh yeah, I listen to techno, and then they play like a really lush lo-fi house tune. I'm like,
yeah, I think just tell me the truth. you like different types of music, like,
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not angry at them at all. The thing that I try to do most of the time is, but I can go really too in depth to just explain why it isn't. And then like I'm for example, when someone plays lo-fi house tune and says like, oh, this is some real nice techno. I'm like, but listen to this, and isn't this a little bit different? And I try to engage them into knowing the style better instead of just slapping a random name on it that you think sounds good to it. But yeah, I don't want to come off as like, oh, I know better. Not at all.
Yeah, no.
Entirely. But I just like being educated and getting educated and educating on the music itself. So it's always fun to learn new things about music. And I think house is, or like electronic music, can be a bit too narrowed down for some people. Like, oh, it's like doof, 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 and it's electronic. But like it goes way beyond it.
Yeah, it's so much more.
The things that I think is a misconception. One more. All right. Maybe like everyone who listens to electronic music is a diehard raver, or like something like that.
Yeah,
I don't, that's
definitely true. Yeah, definitely true, untrue. It's definitely true what you say, but it's not what you say is true that we don't do that. Yeah, exactly.
Like, you could be a raver, or you could be just somebody who lays down in his bed, like you just said earlier, who just lays down, closes their eyes, and listens to like some really mellow electronic stuff, like ambient, lo-fi house, some jazz house or something. It's not rave at all, but electronic. It really has its extremes. So yeah, that could be one misconception actually, that you listen to electronic equals you're a diehard raver who goes to parties every weekend.
All the weekends.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's nothing like that. It's like literally nothing like that at all.
Exactly.
Especially when you're deeper into the actual the world, you realize that all these people are actually, you know, just normal people. It's like you and me. They just want to be able to go outside and do something cool for a little bit, you know?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's like, it is so wide. It really comes back to like the general opinion of it being a bit too narrowed down, I think.
Yeah, well, that's also those people that think like that sometimes. You don't even need them. We don't even need them in this section. If this person's going to be standing in the club, one thing I hate is when the people just stand and like you're in the crowd and people are standing with their drink like this, just standing. Like not dancing. When you're like going off, you know, I literally will go to that person and I'll say, hey man, it'd be way funner if you just dance.
Yeah.
It's not what you
like,
don't
look over your body. Yeah.
Exactly. Don't think that it's crazy. Don't think that this is crazy. Like, we're not all crazy guys.
Exactly.
One movie, I don't know if you've heard of it or not. I have to still get my full take onto it, but it's a British movie that came out in '99 called Human Traffic. It has nothing to do with the actual concept of human trafficking, but believe it or not, it is a movie from the '90s that has to do with raving in the '90s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a big one that not a lot of people know. So this is something that everybody should go and catch up and check out, because hey, you always want to see what the difference is, the dichotomy is between partying 30 years ago and partying now.
Oh, okay. I have to check it out. Yeah, it's like a bit of history of the culture. So yeah.
Exactly. Something that you want to get in. Yeah, exactly. But you know, I'm pretty sure we can tie this ribbon up by asking one or two more questions. And the first one I would say is, what do you hope your legacy will be in the music world? You know, in the future, what would you want people to remember you as?
I'd say I'm not really into making it like super big. I just want my music to be remembered as something that really reflects my my being. So like when some of the more dark-ish lo-fi house tunes came out from me, it was really in periods where I was driven by my emotions, and when I listen back to the productions myself, I can really feel it, and I want other people to like, I hope they could like resonate with it in some type of way. It's like a subconscious form of communication, if you want to go very like spiritually and deep. But my music really reflects how I feel and how I envision myself at that time in a certain space. So yeah, if it's like more happy, I'm like really energetic and I'm just like full of life. I want to go out and feel really confident. And then when it's like more downbeat, it could also be like me being really self-assured and like, but it's like in a different setting. So I always picture myself in certain settings, and I hope that resonates beyond my own mind.
Yeah, see? All right, that's a good enough way to wrap it up and actually explain who you want to be encompassing. And to be honest, nobody, like myself is included, is like, I don't want to be the biggest guy in the world, but I want to be a person that everybody, or at least my group of human beings, whether it be the people I actually know or the people that like to watch these videos, that's all I want. Is for people to watch and genuinely watch because they want to. And it's about it, basically. But,
yeah, if they understand what you want to bring, or they can like vibe to it, or just if I can change something about them with my music, then I'm happy. Or like change. If I can add something to them, to their lives or their vibes or how they're feeling, then that's all that matters actually.
See?
If they resonate with what I bring out, then I'm so happy.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. Well, Mr. Klienfrigo, Mr. Tim, do you have anything in the pipeline coming up? Do you have anything that we need to be looking forward to? You know, live sets, sessions, maybe an actual another track coming out soon?
Yeah, loads of stuff actually. Next month, we're doing a release party with all sorts of different Belgian producers from the Flemish region. It's more like garagey, dancey house, some trance influences, hard house. It's really I would say like a classy reflection on what's being made in the Belgian scene. So I'm really, really looking forward to that as well. Also next week, Friday, so the 31st of January, I'm going to do my biggest show actually. The Week of Belgian Music is in progress right now. And Jupiler, which is like one of the main beer brands in Belgium, reached out to me and they were like, we want you to represent the Week of Belgian Music in your own city. So like our home, how do I say it? Our own soccer team actually has a stadium in our city, and I'm going to play center court.
Wow.
Like DJ set for like 40 minutes to warm up the entire crowd and like showcase Belgian music. But yeah, the capacity of the stadium is like 5,000 to 10,000 people, so it's actually mind blowing to.
Yeah.
So I'm really stressed out about it. It's going to be like a more energetic set, but I'm really looking forward to actually.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that too. Like literally next week you'll be playing for a whole, like literally 10,000 people. I don't think even a lot of neutral artists can even imagine that even happening.
Yeah, so like I'm really stressed out these days. I'm like always thinking about it and a bit nervous and like, oh, I want to really get my set perfect. But like you can never get your set perfect.
Exactly.
So it's like this switch in my head going on and off. But yeah, it's something nice to look forward to actually. Yeah, maybe some other stuff. Yes. Two lo-fi producers as well, Popular Electronics and Wama, I think I pronounced it right. He's an Argentinian producer. They reached out to me to make a remix of a certain track. This is in the pipeline right now. It's just being mastered, and since I'm really into like some more trancey stuff at the moment, I gave it like a completely new spin, and I turned like that lo-fi house tune into like a really bouncy, upbeat trance tune. But I'll send you a demo as soon as we're finished.
Yeah, absolutely, because I am gonna listen to that verbatim. Like I'll play multiple times, and I'll just be in the zone, you know. Hey, maybe everybody else as well in the future, once this comes out, they'll get a little snippet of it too to see if that comes out. Well, man, I think that's all we got to say then for this episode. We wrap it up, put a little bit of ribbon on it, and we're gonna send that dove back out essentially.
Okay, perfect. Sounds
Thank you very much. And I guess from this one, Well, I guess we'll meet you over the weekend once again, everybody. Drop a like, drop a comment. Tell me what you think about this episode. You know you have to do it.